Hey guys, J77 here doing another news update here. I explained this briefly in my What's News podcast. I'm going to talk about it again. It's involving Donald Trump and him finally speaking out against a lot of the against a lot of the hate crimes, as well as the desecration of a lot of the centers, burning of the Jewish centers, anti-Semitism. It's been running rampant ever since he got elected. Now, he did make a response. There's even a video. I believe the link is from the Huffington Post, but I'm also going to read briefly the column that has happened, because the Anne Frank Center has blasted Trump for a lame anti-Semitic response. They are not very happy of why he took so long, and it really raised the questions of his relations with the Jewish community, as well as just the minority communities, African Americans and the Mexican Americans, just Hispanic Americans in general, and the reason why he took too long, and why a lot of people are not feeling what he has done. Now, I already explained my feeling on this, but I'll go a little bit further on that. But I want to read what it says. This is an article by Linda O'Connor. This is from the HuffPost. There is a video, also courtesy by the Wall Street Journal. It's very, very short, but it gets right down the point. It is an interview he had done a few hours ago after visiting the African Center. So here's what it says here. The president's sudden acknowledgement is a band-aid on the cancer of anti-Semitism that has infected his own administration. Keep in mind, they are putting it all on him. President Donald Trump's statement condemning anti-Semitism is too little, too late. The Anne Frank Center of Mutual Respect said Tuesday. The U.S. Senate Executive Director Stephen Goldstein slammed Trump's response as nothing but a band-aid, and reminded Americans of his administration history of turning a blind eye to past and present anti-Semitic Semitic stuff that was going on across the country. The statement today is prophetic. Asterisk of consequences after weeks in which he and his staff had committed ongoing acts reflecting the anti-Semitism, yet day after day have refused to apologize and correct the record. Goldstein said, "Make no mistake, the administration coming out of the anti-Semitism coming out of this administration is the worst I have ever seen in any administration." The White House repeatedly refused to mention Jews in its Holocaust remembrance, and had taken offense when the world pointed out the ratification of the Holocaust denial. These are stuff that has happened. Of course, this is going throughout the whole entire time before and after he was elected, and this is something that a lot of people are very, very, very mad at him right now, and I'll get to more on that. It said earlier Tuesday, Trump made his clearest denouncement of anti-Semitism yet while touring the National Museum of African American History and Culture on Washington, D.C. The anti-Semitic threat targeting Jewish communities and Jewish community centers are horrible, painful, and very sad reminder of the work that must be done to root out hate and prejudice and evil, he said. Again, this is also in the video. This is also his own words. You guys can check it out yourself. His comments came days after the community center across the U.S. faced another wave of bomb threats, forcing evacuation in 10 states. But the threat has been happening for a while. Jewish centers, community centers, Association Communication Manager Marlon Cullen told the Huffington Post on Monday that there has now been at least 67 incidents at 56 Jewish community centers in 27 states, one Canadian province since the start of 2017. Another thing has happened, and this is something that's also you can find in the press. Trump shot down a Jewish reporter's question about those threats at the press conference late Tuesday. Sit down, the president told the reporter, an organized Jews weekly Amos magazine, after telling him it was not a fair question. When an attempt to interject, Hampton fired back quiet, and called it a very insulting question. Really? um, okay. Like I said before, came out, he did slam it, but I'm not surprised that many people have said it's too little too late. Keep in mind there was also a report here, the reason why he didn't came out early is because he didn't want to insult the voters. And I say that is not an excuse at all. Keep in mind, if there is violence happening, doesn't matter if it's Jewish, whites, black, or anything else, and it happens to reflect what you have campaigned on. That's the key thing here. He have campaigned hard. That really much pumped up a lot of people to be involved to do these stupid things. We have an incident happen in New York City, and thankfully, New Yorkers was able to say, no, we're not going to have that. There was swastikas painted all over the subways. They actually removed it. There were people who was attacking people because they was Muslim or Jewish. They got arrested and is possibly facing hate crime. We had a situation where people was doing hateful things on the internet. They are being prosecuted for hate crime. They've been kidnapping. So this kind of stuff is all the reaction of this man's rhetoric and how he got in the office. I wasn't too upset the fact that he didn't say anything early on due to the fact he was trying to get his people together. But he didn't make a press conference after then. He allowed the situation to go any further. And again, this is part of the thing that it really annoys me. He's picking fights for people he shouldn't be picking fights for, where he should be being the leader of our country and actually speak out against this kind of stuff as soon as possible, especially since he wants to do deals with people of ethnic backgrounds, Jewish, people who are Hispanic, even African Americans. It's kind of hard for people to trust you if you are basically being the voice for one particular group of people, especially group of people who still believe this is 1899 and still believe that this is the year where Jim Crow still exists. This is a very serious situation, and right now I'm not saying he can't change his ways. But what I am saying right now is that he has a long way to go. We haven't even been through the first year yet, and he needs to address these issues and not just basically ignore it. The fact that he actually these reports saying that he didn't want to upset his voters really is, to me, just rolls my eyes. All right, if you are appeasing these people who are committing these type of crimes, committing these kind of acts, then it really does reflect a lot on you and the people who are under you, as well as those who are supposed to be representing us. Keep in mind, I don't just vote for the president. I'm voting for those who are going to be my representative and my senators in Washington. And if they ain't going to say nothing about it, which, by the way, they're no different than the people than you, then there's a huge problem. And I got to reassess who should be my leaders come down the road, this year as well as the years to follow. What's your opinion on this? I'd like to hear what you're feeling, even if you're a voter of Trump or not a voter of Trump. What's your feeling on this? Did he act too little too late? Do you think he acted appropriately? Let me know in the comment section. Until next time, J77 saying take care, be safe, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.